Brokering success demands a battle-ready strategy. TIE TMS equips brokers with the ultimate battle station for conquering a tough market. With TIE, brokers gain access to a comprehensive platform where rate intelligence and quote history coverage on a single screen. Revolutionize the way your brokers perform by giving them a competitive advantage with TIE TMS. For more info, visit tiesoftware.com/battlestation. Welcome back to another edition of Check Call. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter on FreightWaves.com if you haven't already. Today we welcome Archita Prasad, Vice President of Strategy, Corporate Development, and New Product Innovation at UPS Capital. Welcome to the show, Archita.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for having me.
I am pretty excited about today because we're kind of getting into some of the nitty-gritty of certain things. But before we get too far into that, let's get some background on you and how you got started at UPS Capital.
Sure. So I've been with UPS for about 5.5 years. I joined Capital, which is the shipping experience and insurance division of UPS, about 2.5 years back. And prior to joining UPS, I was with the NCR for a short stint, and then before that with IBM Consulting. I've worked in many different organizations, different sizes, different industries, but primarily my experience has been in strategy and transformation.
I kind of like that. You have a little bit of everything all kind of brought into one. And I mean, I feel like that only just makes you better as you keep going. You keep like collecting new things.
Well, that's what I like to believe. And yes, it has helped me so far in my journey.
Well, I'm excited because now we get to pick your brain. And one of the things that you are fantastic and no doubt an expert in. And if you don't mind, can you discuss kind of the current landscape for professionals working in the supply chain? Like, what kind of challenges are you seeing as a result of e-commerce growth and all the disruptions that happen throughout the supply chain?
Absolutely. Before I answer your question, I would like to spend a minute and talk about UPS Capital because I don't think everyone knows what we actually do. So UPS Capital is the shipping experience and insurance division for UPS. And we leverage we have 100+ years of experience in the supply chain space. So we leverage that to anticipate and overcome the shipping mishaps the merchants face, right? So insurance, if you think about insurance, it's the protection, or it provides protection after a loss has already occurred. But if you look at our customers, they are looking for solutions which can help them avoid losses altogether. So at UPS Capital, we are looking at or we are leveraging technology and data to come up with solutions which provide end-to-end risk coverage for our customers. Now, shipping is not just moving packages from point A to point B, right? It's most of the times the last opportunity the merchant has to provide a positive experience to their customers. So that's why it's our mission to provide peace of mind to our customers by giving them tools and solutions which can help them you know, protect the packages and provide a good experience to their customers.
We love people that protect packages and have the solutions because nobody wants to have the package or have that phone call of like, hey, guess what? Your package is crushed into a bunch of tiny pieces because it fell off of something or something happened, because not only does that ruin the item, it ultimately ruins the experience and potentially costs someone, a customer, which is something that nobody ever really wants to be the reason that happens.
That is true. Now, moving on to your question about how the landscape or the challenges that we are facing due to the increase in e-commerce. So, e-commerce has grown significantly in the last few years, in the pre-pandemic times. So the market has doubled. Now, what does that really mean? That there are more packages on the road, more packages on the doorsteps, right? And the consumer behavior has shifted as well. There are more people buying more things. I mean, they're comfortable. I mean, they look at online shopping as a more or as a safer and convenient option, right? So they're buying more things, they are buying more things more often. E-commerce has diversified, it has expanded beyond the regular things that we have typically bought online. It has expanded to groceries and pharma and other, other things as well. And apart from the behavior, the consumer expectation has shifted as well, or has changed as well. I mean, the consumers, they expect, like really fast deliveries. They expect on time or real time visibility, tracking. Where is my package? I need to know now. When will I get it? And they're also looking for personalized delivery options. So I want my deliveries when I want it, how I want it, and where I want it. So these are few factors which are, or challenges which are being injected because of the rise in e-commerce. And there is another element. As we have seen the surge in e-commerce, there is a surge in the shipping fraud as well, right? So during the time, like the pre-pandemic time, when I talked about the e-commerce growth, we saw e-commerce grow by about, let's say, 15 to 20%. And during the same period, we saw shipping fraud increase by about 40%. That's significant, right? So let me break that for you a little bit. When I talk about the shipping loss and damage, you can look at it in three key buckets: the in transit loss and damage, the post purchase, and then the reverse logistics or the returns piece, right? And majority of the loss damage that comes from the last two buckets. Like, let's talk about porch piracy, which is the biggest contributor for the post purchase loss. Just to give you more context, that's about two packages per household in a year on an average. That's a lot, right? That's significant. So, and similarly, the returns fraud or returns loss has been increasing at a significant rate as well. It's increasing at about 40%. It puts a significant pressure on the bottom line and the customer or merchant reputation.
I think that, first of all, I did not know that porch piracy was that bad. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was like that bad. But it's insane just how you think that there are so many risks out there that you know of in like you're trying to mitigate in your supply chain, but then you just have something as simple as like, hey, that package looks cool. I'm going to walk up to that house and take it. And I think that those are things that you can't necessarily plan for.
When you're expecting a package to arrive and suddenly, like, it shows delivered in your app and you go out and it's missing, that really annoys you. And if you look at it from the consumer point of view, the consumers, they experience this once and they decide not to do business with that merchant ever.
And it's not really anything that that merchant can control. But I also say I see the Amazon effect. What's what I've called it every day, where I need something in 1 to 2 days. If I can't get it, then well, I don't necessarily want it. I'm not going to pay for shipping. Absolutely not. And I want to know when it's 4 houses, 6 houses, however many houses away, and exactly like what time it's going to arrive. And other parcel providers have been stepping up the visibility and tracking in that area, but at the same time, it's still like everyone has to compete with it, and it also depends on how much those merchants want to share that information or want to share it back to the consumer, which is I gotta feel like got to be probably one of the most frustrating parts because like every merchant has different capabilities and things that they want.
That's right.
So I guess you've touched on it a little bit, and that is, we have the something goes wrong in the supply chain that makes it so the consumer doesn't necessarily want to order from that merchant again. Do you guys see any other kind of challenges or not implications? Do you guys see any other kind of impacts as a result of some of these obstacles in the supply chain coming out to affect consumers?
Yeah, absolutely. You touched upon the Amazon effect, right? So players like Amazon, they are raising the standards. They are putting, like, they're raising the standards for fast deliveries, and this is putting a lot of pressure on the smaller SMBs, the small and medium sized businesses, who are playing catch up to compete and compete with the Amazon services and meet the customer expectations, right? So they already have a lot of pressure, and they are getting more and more pressure every day with what Amazon is doing. And for SMBs, the large part of their success depends on their ability to mitigate and overcome the risks that they have in their supply chain. We conducted a recent survey, and what we found out is that for a SMB, there are five main criteria that determine their success for an e-commerce company, especially the lost deliveries, the damaged items, lost items, the delayed inventory, then porch piracy, and then the reverse logistics, or return, and the number of returns. Right. So every time they face one of these, or they experience any of these events, they file a claim, right? And these claims are sometimes paid, sometimes not paid. And in the same survey, what the customers shared with us is that they experienced about loss of over 1 million because of unpaid or partially paid claims. So this injects a lot of financial pressure on the merchants, right? And they are overcome. I mean, they assign a certain budget to deal with shipping fraud, but because this is increasing at such an alarming rate, they are always going above and beyond their budgets.
I've long since said the first person to have a good solution for reverse logistics will become like a trillionaire or something. Just anyone who has a good solution for that, there is just so much money to be made there.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what we are trying to. We want to solve our customers' problems as well while we make more money.
I mean, you guys could be the first ones to come up with those solutions.
Yeah, we are already there.
I guess so. Kind of going on to that, kind of how do you guys use the technology to help those customers and help solve those problems? Aside from working on taking over reverse logistics and becoming a trillionaire off of it.
Sure. So, we see that more and more merchants are leaning towards technology to help them solve these problems, to deal with shipping fraud and loss. And at UPS Capital, historically, we have provided this robust insurance product. But as I mentioned earlier, insurance provides protection once a loss has already occurred, and our merchants are looking for solutions which can help them avoid the loss altogether. So we are using technology, data, and our expertise, our experience network to come up with solutions which can help them provide that end-to-end risk solution. So, tools that can help them identify risk, mitigate risk, and in the event something happens, of course, insurance, and then claims as well. So, talking a little more about the solutions that we have, there is Address Confidence Score, which is a tool that we have developed using advanced machine learning models, our data. And what it does is it provides a score from 100 to 1,000, or which assigns a score. Which shows the likelihood of a successful delivery at a given address. So 100 is low confidence and 1,000 is high confidence. So basically, merchants can evaluate the risk at a given address and take proactive um, actions. Like they can decide to route the packages to an alternate, safer address. I mean, mitigating the risk. Then we have visibility solutions. Again, it gives them the ability to see where their packages are and then take corrective actions in case of inclement weather, reroute the package, or if it's not urgent, hold it at a certain place so that there's no, I mean, you don't lose the package. You're mitigating the risk. And then in the event something happens, of course, there is insurance, and we have a fast and effective claims process as well, which helps an expedited reshipment and hence helping the merchants protect their reputation, protect their bottom line, protect their customer experience.
First of all, the fact that you have something that tells you, like, within a decent estimation, how successful something's going to get delivered, I immediately love that. I think that's a genius idea. Because if you see something that's like, yo, this is definitely not going to get delivered, you can just say, all right, well, I can take it off at an access point, or I can drop it off somewhere else, or utilize the little lockers. Or I remember one time I had to go pick something up from a random, like, convenience store down the street because they just happened to be like an access point where they held your shipments. And it was great because I didn't have to worry about my package getting lost. I just had to swing by on my way home and it was great. So personally, I love that you guys have that. I think it's fantastic. And if I were looking to kind of expand, also, if I'm looking to expand as like a smaller shipper, I know that, hey, I can just go and see which general areas or which specific zip codes are going to have the most success. And if the ones that are, I might start expansion there versus some of the riskier ones that I'm not 100% ready to kind of go through some of the headaches that come with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're very proud of the innovation and this new solution that we have developed, which is really helping our customers.
Yeah, I truly don't see how it would be a loss at that point in time. But if you do come across, so if you have one piece of advice to give to a shipper looking to kind of reduce risk or kind of make some improvements in their network or in their operations, what's that one piece of advice that you'd give them?
Um, well, I think I would say, partner with UPS Capital, because partnering with UPS Capital and it just gives them a peace of mind, and that we are providing end-to-end coverage to all your uh, potential shipping mishaps. So helping you identify, as I said earlier, identify, mitigate, and ensure shipping losses. That's, then they can focus on their core business, and we can take care of all the eventualities.
I like that. That's something that we've talked about on the show before of if you're really good at making muffins or if you're really good at making a product, you don't need to get in the weeds of the logistics. You don't need to sit there and assess someone's cargo insurance. Like, no, you'd be making the latest and greatest innovations in muffins. So, again, I need to stop using muffins as the example, but it gets the point across.
Let's say candles.
There you go. Candles. If you like, we need more delicious scents, more variety. We need cuter candle jars. We don't need you to sit there and vet a carrier. We got people for that. Find the experts, find the candle makers of the logistics world, potentially at UPS Capital.
Absolutely. Mhm.
All right, so that being said, we are running out of time today, but there is a question that everyone on the show answers, and we've already asked you about your hot dog opinions, and you're not a hot dog girl, which is completely fine. No shade. It's great. I'm good for like 2 a year. They're not my lifeblood. I would never survive in Chicago. Um, so today we're switching it up. And your slightly random question is if you could only eat one dish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, it'll be salad.
Yes.
You know, that's a trick answer because salad can mean anything.
You got potato salad, you got pasta salad, you've got you could load up a salad with anything, fruit salad. I'm sure there's an ice cream salad if you try hard enough.
I'm sure.
I absolutely love that answer. That's also the first time we've asked that question on this show, so that might have to work itself into the rotation because it's a much better question than if you could only eat one color of food. Salad, man. Who would have thought salad? So if anyone has any questions on, the best salad, or if they have any questions on kind of how to get more information at UPS Capital, where can they find you outside the show?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn, and my handle is Archita Prasad, and you can also reach us at insureshield.com.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast talking to you.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me. It was great.
You can find Check Call the Podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to check out all the other incredible FreightWaves shows, and don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter on freightwaves.com/checkcall. See you on the internet.